I mean, by find, could you describe that process of how they find?
What, the Gateways books?
Well, any book on eBay that's in their database.
Well, there's really only one trick to it. If you start from, I guess you'd call it the opening screen, you're gonna see in the upper right, somewhere in the jumble up there. There's a few things in the upper right, but somewhere in the jumble you'll see My eBay. Now, do not click on My eBay and think that you'll find what you're looking for. You have to allow that drop-down box to come up and click on the Sell option from that My eBay menu that's in the upper right.
The sell function, selling, not CEL, but SEL.
Yeah, selling. So once you click on the My eBay selling menu in the upper right, that takes you to a page that looks much like any of the other pages in your My eBay.
Isn't that incredible?
But it's very different because on the left there will be a sell an item option. You might want to bookmark, but don't bookmark yet. When you get to sell an item, in the upper right, and this is the critical part, because if you don't do this, everything gets confusing. In the upper right, there'll be a menu. They're like little links. They're text links. They don't look like buttons. One of them says, what is it? Select advanced options.
Yes.
The word advanced is in there for sure. I think it's select advanced options.
Yeah, advanced options. So you press that.
So when you press that, that was the key. You have to get into select advanced options in order to look up the books the way we're going to tell you to. Now, they don't want you to do this. So they're going to have a pop-up that says, "Hi, we think you're trying to do something we don't want you to do. Click on this big, huge blue button in the lower right so we can prevent you from doing that." There'll be a little teeny link right beside that big, humongous button. And that's what you have to click on to do what we're trying to have you do.
Yeah. They do everything to distract you, everything possible to distract you from hitting that little tiny thing. So you have to really be a professional eBay seller to know that that is exactly the thing you want to hit.
Basically, if you don't have a force of intention that's pushing you toward the advanced options, you will click accidentally or in your somnambulistic state.
Yeah.
You'll click on the buttons that take you away from it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of guaranteed that people don't accidentally end up there. But you'll get to a page that allows you to type in an author. I'm assuming you could also look up titles, but we've been looking it up by author. And you can test this out by typing in E.J. space gold. And that'll bring up a bunch of books. Now, from what I can figure, these are books
and
that...
e-books, paperbacks, hardcover, and e-books, they all come up at once.
Okay.
Yeah, just so you know that.
I don't know how you're going to deliver the e-books, so you...
Yeah, don't do e-books.
No, these...
By the way, if it says three copies of the same thing, the middle copy usually is a paperback, and the other two copies are
Now, I don't know, where are they pulling these from?
They're a database. You can put anything in there. You can put in Rodney Collins and get books. You can deliver, and then they have a photograph of the cover already in there.
So where are they pulling these from? Amazon or previous sellers?
I don't know. They all look the same.
Okay.
28.
Yeah, half of 56.
Good. That'll be fun for him.
So...
Well, there'll be a Fremen pretty soon. Oh, he is?
It's not clear to me where they're pulling all this information from, because it's very complete. But they have a database. When you select from that, though, they're not giving you the books, so or the e-books. So you have to select the item that corresponds to what you can actually deliver. So you kind of have to read what it is you're clicking on. And they do give you the image, which is nice, and title and author and whatnot. But it will be up to you to select the condition. One of the things about eBay is you could sell a book that's been run over by a herd of cattle, and that would be perfectly fine. But you need to declare that the book has been run over by a herd of cattle, and you don't want to put that the book is like new. You have to select the option that says barely readable, or whatever the condition is. Whatever it is fine. You just have to tell the truth. Otherwise, it comes back at you. And I don't know, a book that was run over by a herd of cattle might actually have some sales potential. So when you type in E.J.gold, you'll pull up a bunch of books. Or you could put in Robert DeRopp, any number of different books. And then what you're getting from doing this is the pre-fills. That's what you're taking advantage of, is you get title, author, and other pertinent information filled in for you. Otherwise, you have to just put that in yourself. And it is worth saying 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you have to be careful to select a book that can actually be delivered. Depending on the database, there can be out-of-print versions of our books that they bring up and present to you. You don't want to sell an out-of-print version of a book that we cannot deliver to you. We're going to feel really bad when we have to say no. We can't get that. And we'll probably try ridiculous things to find a copy to help you out. But no matter how bad we feel, and no matter what ridiculous efforts we make to try to help you, if we don't have a copy, we don't have a copy. And your sale is going to go south. So it's going to be on you to make sure that it's a book that's actually here. Fortunately, it'll be easy to do that. You just go to gatewaysbooksandtapes.com. You look for the book. You go to the page. Make sure that the page is there. For EJ Gold, we have all of EJ's books in print for the most part. There's a few of the much, much older books that are not in print, or they're collectibles. However, for somebody like DeRopp, because of how his estate handles his books come and go in terms of whether they're in print or not. We have a few that are still in print and very much in print, but we don't have his full oeuvre of titles. So just be careful when you select those out.